Good day, everyone. Today, I will be presenting about several key federal departments and statutory bodies that play an important role in Malaysia's maritime sector. I will begin with the Ministry of Transport Malaysia, MOT, followed by Jabatan Laut Malaysia, which is the main maritime regulatory department. After that, I will explain the role of the Maritime Institute of Malaysia as the country's maritime research and advisory body. Finally, I will conclude with an overview of Malaysia's major ports and the authorities that govern them. Today, I will begin with a brief introduction to the Ministry of Transport Malaysia, MOT. The ministry is responsible for managing transportation systems across land, air, and sea. Its main tasks include planning transport infrastructure, enforcing transport laws, and ensuring that all services are delivered safely, efficiently, and in line with national development. MOT also works with international organizations to improve Malaysia's transport standards and competitiveness. Now, let's focus specifically on the role of MOT in the maritime. The Ministry of Transport plays a crucial role in keeping Malaysia's maritime industry safe, efficient, and well-regulated. First, MOT is responsible for formulating and implementing maritime policies, including the privatization of ports, as well as the coordination and monitoring of federal port operations. This ensures that all Malaysian ports operate smoothly and support economic growth. MOT also oversees ship safety and environmental protection. This includes setting policies on vessel safety, cruise operations, preventing pollution from ships, and protecting lives and property at sea. Through these efforts, the ministry maintains high standards of maritime safety in Malaysian waters. Another important responsibility of MOT is encouraging the involvement of Malaysian entrepreneurs in the shipping industry, both locally and internationally. This helps strengthen Malaysia's shipping sector and supports the growth of local maritime businesses. To ensure Malaysia remains aligned with global maritime practices, MOT engages in international cooperation. This includes signing maritime transport agreements and memorandums of understanding, as well as participating in human capital development programs. These collaborations help enhance Malaysia's expertise and global maritime presence. MOT also ensures that Malaysia complies with global standards by endorsing and implementing international maritime conventions. When required, the ministry updates domestic regulations to match international requirements. Lastly, MOT is responsible for processing and issuing the domestic shipping license. All vessels engaged in domestic shipping activities within Malaysian waters are required to obtain a domestic shipping license to ensure their operations are regulated, safe, and compliant with national maritime laws. However, certain categories of Malaysian vessels are exempted from this requirement. These exemptions include vessels with a net weight of less than 15 tons, vessels licensed under Section 475 of the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 195, too commonly known as the boat license, and vessels licensed under the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1960 inches Sabah and Sarawak. In addition, vessels that are owned or leased by the federal government, state governments, or port authorities are also not required to obtain a DSL. These exemptions ensure that smaller and government-operated vessels are not burdened with additional licensing requirements while maintaining proper regulation over all commercial domestic shipping activities. The application for the domestic shipping license is carried out through the EDSL system, an online platform developed to streamline and enhance the entire licensing process. This system provides a comprehensive end-to-end service, allowing applicants to conveniently submit their applications, make payments, and print their approved licenses all through a single digital portal. Moving forward, I will talk about Jabatan Laut Malaysia. Jabatan Laut Malaysia is a government department under the Ministry of Transport Malaysia. It was established to regulate matters related to shipping, ports, and overall maritime affairs within Malaysian waters. The department plays a crucial role in ensuring that maritime operations run smoothly, safely, and in accordance with national and international standards. Before the establishment of Jabatan Laut, Malaysia as we know it today, maritime administration in the country operated through three separate entities: Jabatan Laut Semenanjung Malaysia, Jabatan Laut Sabah, and Jabatan Laut Sarawak. Each department had its own organizational structure and its own head of service. However, In an effort to streamline governance and strengthen maritime administration, these three departments were officially merged on 1 January 2011. This consolidation formed what is now known as Jabatan Laut Malaysia. The main functions of Jabatan Laut Malaysia include regulating shipping activities, port operations, seafarers, and navigational safety. It also serves as a key service provider in the areas of shipping, port management, and maritime safety. In addition, JLM plays a significant role in developing Malaysia's maritime economy, supporting the nation's growth as a competitive maritime nation. Shifting our focus, let's look at the Maritime Institute of Malaysia. MIMA is a national policy research institute established by the Malaysian government to address issues related to Malaysia's interests at sea. It serves as the country's main center for maritime research, ensuring that Malaysia remains well-informed and strategically prepared in maritime matters. One of MIMA's key responsibilities is to support and complement government agencies operating in the maritime sector. It achieves this by mobilizing maritime experts who can contribute to the planning, development, and implementation of national maritime policies. Acting as both an advisory and consultative body, MIMA provides professional guidance, second opinions, and alternative views to the government and relevant organizations, ensuring policies are comprehensive and well-informed. MIMA also plays an important role in public education, promoting awareness and sharing maritime-related information with the community. The Institute maintains an active network of international collaboration, engaging in cross-exchange programs with global maritime institutions. This helps Malaysia stay aligned with global maritime trends, best practices, and emerging issues, strengthening the nation's position in the international maritime arena. Turning our attention to Malaysia's port system, Malaysia has 7 main federal ports, namely Penang Port, Port Klang, Kuantan Port, Kemaman Port, Johor Port, Port of Tanjung Pelepas, PTP, and Bintulu Port. Meanwhile, all ports in Sabah and Sarawak, with the exception of Bintulu Port and Labuan Port, which are federally administered, operate under the jurisdiction of their respective state governments. This division of authority ensures effective management of port operations across both Peninsula and East Malaysia. Malaysia's major ports are each governed by specific port authorities established under various federal acts. Penang Port and Teluk Ewa Port are both administered by the Penang Port Commission under the Penang Port Commission Act 1955. Port Klang, Malaysia's busiest port, is managed by the Port Klang Authority. Meanwhile, Tanjung Bruas Port falls under the Malacca Port Authority. On the East Coast, Kuantan Port and Kemaman Port are overseen by the Kuantan Port Authority and Kemaman Port Authority, respectively. In the southern region, Johor Port and the Port of Tanjung Pelepas are regulated by the Johor Port Authority, all governed under the Port Authorities Act 1963. Over in East Malaysia, Bintulu Port is administered by the Bintulu Port Authority, while Labuan Port is governed by the Labuan Port Authority. Both are governed by the Bintulu Port Authority Act 1981. These port authorities serve to regulate, develop, and ensure efficient port operations in alignment with Malaysia's maritime and economic policies. In conclusion, Malaysia's maritime sector is supported by a strong and structured system. The Ministry of Transport, MNI, leads at the federal level by setting national policies for safety, efficiency, and maritime development. Jabatan Laut Malaysia ensures that our shipping, port operations, and navigational safety run smoothly in accordance with both national and international standards. Meanwhile, the Maritime Institute of Malaysia strengthens the nation through research, expert advice, and knowledge sharing on maritime issues. Finally, Malaysia's ports managed by federal and state authorities play a crucial role in supporting trade, economic growth, and connectivity across the country. Together, these institutions form the backbone of Malaysia's maritime industry.
That's all for a video. Thank you. See you in the next video.